This cake order really challenged me, but it turned out so cute, so I'm very excited to show you. I got this order from a girl who said she's been watching me on TikTok for a while, and she's always wanted to order a cake, so she decided to order one for her and her boyfriend's anniversary. She told me they wanted a vintage style cake, but they wanted to be surprised by all the specifics. She said, "We want it to include things we love and trust your design ability completely." She told me they love Hello Kitty. She said they went to Paris together, and she said their first date was at IHOP. The first thing I made was the Hello Kitty, and then to tie in the Paris part, I did a little croissant. These little doodles took me a long time because this just isn't something I do all the time, so I'm not like super practiced at it, but once they actually came out, they were so fun. I loved them. And then you can see I did the pancakes to represent their date at IHOP. She also asked if I could add pictures of them and their dog, which I told her I honestly didn't know if I'd be able to do because faces and animals can be super hard. But I did the dog. It ended up looking cute. And then lucky for me, she sent me a picture of them too, and they had pretty like recognizable features. Like she has this really pretty like red hair and straight across bangs, and her boyfriend has glasses and curly hair. So I was like, those are like distinct enough features that I can kind of cartoonify it and it'll still be recognizably them. So that ended up working out perfectly. I know I was not capable of any sort of realistic drawing, but I think these little doodles turned out super cute. She also asked me to include some little piped flowers, so I just filled in the rest of the little gaps with those. And then I also asked her if she had specific colors she wanted me to use, and she said sage green and pink, so I did the sage green for the background, and then I decided to do the vintage piping in a little rosy dusty pink color. I decided to do the doodles first and then pipe around them because I knew I was gonna have to be scraping the doodles off multiple times to get them to look how I wanted them to. And it's a good thing I did because I scraped most of them multiple times. This doodle cake was nowhere near the levels of artistry I've seen on this app, including my friend Savannah, Sav's Got Cake. She is the doodle cake queen. But for my first attempt, I'm very happy with how this turned out, and they said they loved it. If you or your friend is having a coastal-themed bachelorette party, you need to get this cake. I got this cake order from my friend Riley. Riley is my upstairs neighbor at the shop. She owns Allure Lash Boutique. She just started posting TikTok, so I'll tag her below. Go give her a follow. She recently just did a lash lift on me and I've been loving it. I have like the straightest lashes ever. They literally grow downward. They don't hold a curl. So this lash lift was very much needed for me. But anyway, she ordered this cake for her friend's bachelorette party and they were going for kind of a coastal theme. So she wanted a vintage heart cake. She wanted a light blue base with like creamy white piping. And then she wanted me to add the word bride on top and she wanted some like seashells and pearls. I decided to go with a double ruffle because I feel like that kind of went with like the seashell, like mermaidy coastal vibes. I don't know why, but that just makes sense to me. It looked kind of like, I don't know, scaly. I also did kind of like a scalloped ruffle on the bottom and the top, and I love how it turned out. The finishing touch was just some chunky pearl sprinkles. I think this really tied it all together, gave it a little bit of shine, and just made it super cute and bridal. You might hate this cake, you might love this cake, so keep watching to find out, I guess. I got this order for a first birthday cake, and the theme was one in the sun, like fun in the sun. They were having a pool party and she just wanted it to be like bright colors, kind of like pool, summer, beach theme. And when I think of like a fun, bright summer cake, I'm thinking my squiggle design. And that's why I say you might hate this cake because it's polarizing, this design. It really is. But I think it's so fun and it's so easy to like just tie it into any theme. And I haven't done a really fun one like this. So I was like, okay, do you like this? I sent her a sketch and she was like, yeah, looks great. I decided to do yellow for the base just to be like the sunshine. And then I went in with hot pink for the squiggles because I was like, what is more fun than hot pink, honestly? She sent me a picture of their invite and it had like flamingos and tropical leaves and sun and all kinds of stuff. So I just tried to tie in those elements to the cake as well. I didn't want to go too crazy with too many colors, so I feel like the color scheme I landed on is honestly perfect. It's like fun, summer, tropical, pool party vibes. And I'm sorry to disappoint, there were no barnacles on this cake. I don't know why. I guess I just forgot to bring that piping tip out. I finished it off with some pearls, and I think it turned out so cute. It's always hard to know when to stop on these cakes, but I think I did just enough. Last weekend I had an order for a 3-tier wedding cake, so let me show you what I did for it. She ordered a 6, 8, and 12-inch cake. Normally I would do a 6, 8, 10, but she needed a few more servings, so we did 6, 8, 12, which is not a size I normally do. I usually do a 6, 8, 10 or an 8, 10, 12. And a 6, 8, 10 I can deliver on my own. An 8, 10, 12 I usually enlist my mom for help, and she comes and helps me deliver and lift it. I can carry it from the workbench to the fridge, but once it's in a box and I'm carrying it into a venue, I just want a little extra help. But because this size was in the middle, I was like, I'll be fine, I can do it by myself. But then it was a couple days before delivery, and I was laying in bed about to fall asleep, and I was like, wait, this venue doesn't have a ramp, it has stairs to go inside. And normally delivering a big cake like this, I just lift it into my car off of a cart. I bring the cart with me, and then I just have to put it onto the cart and roll it in the venue. But this venue has stairs to get in, so I was like, oh, I'm panicked. And then the next day I was talking to my bestie girl Nina, and she's like, oh, do you have a busy week? What's going on? I was like, actually, I'm so stressed about this wedding delivery. And she was like, girl, I'll just come help you. I was like, you're the best. So she helped me. Delivery was super easy, and I'm very thankful for her. I don't have any employees, but Nina is my one delivery girl. If I need help, if I've overbooked myself or something with my schedule, she will deliver cakes for me, and it's the best. I trust her 100%. She did used to work in a bakery in high school, so she kind of knows the business. This bride specifically requested more simple vintage piping, which I love because normally I would have done more than this, but I actually love how it turned out, just how simple it was. If you are pretty and smart, this cake is for you. Literally, because that's exactly what she wanted me to write on top of it. This cake was ordered for a law school graduation. I don't remember if it was her graduating or if she was buying it for a friend, but she wanted a vintage heart cake, and on top of it, she wanted pretty and smart. And then she also wanted the little, oh my gosh, what's it called? The scales of justice, I think. Wait, let me Google that. Yes, I just Googled it, and I was correct, so that was to give the lawyer vibes, you know? She wanted the words on top to be gold, so I used a chocolate mold to make the letters, and then I just shook those in gold luster dust. And then I piped on the little scale and stuck that in the fridge to harden so I could paint it. I was very happy with myself because I thought this was going to take a bunch of tries to get it right, but I got it on the first try, so that was a success. And then I just got on with my normal vintage piping. The other day I woke up with this horrible wrist pain, and I'm guessing I just slept on my wrist funny, but it got me thinking if something happened to my wrist, I would be out of a job. How would I pipe? How would I pipe with no wrist mobility? I don't know. Knock on wood though that nothing else happens to my wrist. And then along with the vintage piping, she requested cherries on top. So that was the final detail. Tag someone below that you would get this pretty and smart cake for. Tag yourself, if applicable. I'm sure it is. This cake was ordered for a 50th birthday. They wanted a vintage heart cake, and they just wanted some floral details because they were having a garden party. I don't have much else to say about this design, so I thought we could just chat about some random things. First things first, we have to address the biggest news of the day. The queen is engaged. You guys know I love Taylor, so I was very happy to see that. So excited for her. When do we think she got engaged? Definitely before the New Heights podcast, right? I feel like she wouldn't do it if she wasn't engaged to the man. Speaking of weddings, there better be no wedding taking place tomorrow when I sit down in front of my TV screen. If Belly does not leave that clown at the altar, I will riot. I'm giving absolutely no context because if you know, you know, and if you don't, then don't even get yourself involved because what are we doing here? Something that made me really sad today is I had a roll of film that I needed to finish. I literally started it last year and I was like, I really need to finish these photos so I can go get them developed. So me and my friend went out yesterday and we took a bunch of cute pics and we found some horses out in the farmland and we were taking pictures and it was so cute. And what did I do when I got home? Accidentally opened the thingy, the film, the camera. I'm not like a photographer, so I don't know the terms, but I opened the camera before the film was rewound, and if you know anything about film cameras, you can't do that. You will ruin the photos. So I took them to get developed this morning, and we'll see if any of them turn out or if they're completely ruined, and That would be such a bummer. If you are a photographer and you want to give me some hope that maybe they're okay, I would love to hear that. I won't know for a while till I get them back, and he said they're kind of backed up, so it's gonna be like 2 weeks. Oh, the last thing I wanted to ask you guys is if anyone lives in Charleston or has traveled to Charleston, leave me recommendations, because I'm going on a little trip soon and I just want to know where the girlies are going. Tell me what I need to see, tell me what I can skip. I'm very excited. I've never been before. And now here we are at the final product of the cake.